Do you all realize that you are sat in one of the modern masterpieces of the 20th century, Crown Hall? A steel building, by the way, for our steel colleagues in the room. These two big white boxes here are air conditioning ducts. They are not columns. So this was built in 1956. It was one of the first big column-free open spaces in the world, Mies van der Rohe. When you go outside, you'll see the big steel trusses on the outside that support the building. Anyway, my name is Antony Wood. I am the president of the Council on Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat, and it is my job to, first of all, welcome up to stage three people who are going to welcome you to the space, welcome you to Chicago. And the first of those is, this is an active School of Architecture. I'm a professor here within the School of Architecture. Normally it's chaos with students everywhere. Students all left 2 weeks ago. And what you see is a beautiful end-of-year exhibition. So over the course of the next 2 days, you should go around and look at, it's not all together. Some of the students have started taking some of the stuff away, but there's enough to get a gist for it. So the first speaker, if you could help me welcome him up the stage, is the Dean of the College of Architecture here at IIT, Reed Kroloff.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Reed Kroloff, Dean of the College of Architecture, as Antony pointed out just a minute ago, and we are absolutely delighted to have you here with us today for this conference. CTBUH and the College of Architecture have a long and fruitful history. For many, many years, in fact, CTBUH had its offices here on campus in the building right behind us, locally known at 3410 because that's its address. This is an engineering school. That's how we do things in engineering schools. And then they have moved out on their own and prospered tremendously. But we remain linked at the hip. And this kind of conference is exactly the sort of thing that we like to do together. And we're thrilled that you are the first conference audience back in this building since the start of COVID. So thank you so much for helping us re-inaugurate Crown as a great educational space. You are in the center core of Crown Hall, as it is called, which was always designed to be a public space. Sometimes it's a lecture hall, sometimes we have student work up on the walls that you see around us, sometimes it's empty, sometimes it's spontaneous getting together. We like to think of today's activities as a planned, spontaneous getting together. Everybody will learn from one another. I'm also delighted that the CTBUH and the College of Architecture are starting in the fall under the direction of Antony Wood, a brand new, world's only master's degree program in tall buildings, the Masters of Tall Buildings and Vertical Urban Habitat, in which we will teach tall building technology that includes both steel and timber. That's been a focus for Antony for a long time in his teaching here. He's been here as a professor on our staff for close to 20 years. And so this is not new to us, and we're delighted to have you here. Our faculty is in the audience with you today. And so I know we're all going to be learning from this conference, as I know you will be too. And so let me just add one more invitation to you to visit the student exhibit that's up and also on the other side of this screen, and to wander around our campus, the largest repository of buildings designed by Mies van der Rohe in the world, more than 20 of them, as well as a lot of other famous contemporary architects, including lots of concrete, wood, and steel technologies for you to review. So have a marvelous conference. We're really delighted you're here, and thank you very much for coming.
Okay, so you all think you're at a conference, correct? You're not at a conference. You're not at a conference. You're in the middle or the early stages of a major research project. 2-year research project on steel timber hybrid buildings. This conference just happens to be one part of that research project. And the research project, and therefore the conference, is supported and funded by 2 organizations. It's steel timber hybrid buildings. So we're delighted that we have the support of both Constructsteel, who are a division of World Steel, and also the Softwood Lumber Board. So I have a senior representative from each of those organizations just to come up and give a welcome and tell you their perspective on this project. The first is Terrence Busuttil, who is the director of Constructsteel. He's flown all the way from Belgium. So could you please give a round of applause to Terrence?
Good morning to everybody. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you on behalf of Constructsteel at this important event. I wish to thank the Council for Tall Buildings and Urban Habitat for leading a 2-year project to identify areas where the potential for increased synergies in the construction application of steel and timber may be realized. The World Steel Association is one of the largest and most dynamic industry associations in the world, with members in every major steel-producing country. World Steel represents steel producers, national and regional steel industry associations, and steel research institutes. ConstructSteel is World Steel's steel construction market development program and was created to position steel in buildings and infrastructure. Before I provide more details into the activities of ConstructSteel, I remind you that the 100-plus-year-old steel industry has contributed enormously to building our modern world and will continue to do so, from past infrastructure to the future. The steel of the past supported the world's first skyscraper, built with steel right here in Chicago, the Home Insurance Building. However, that is not the steel industry of today. The modern global steel industry has made great strides in innovation, which has led to more sustainable steelmaking and closed-loop processes, greening the industry in ways the pioneers of construction could have never envisioned. That natural progression has brought forth accountability in carbon, water use, and raw material conservation. It has also attributed accountability to the end products that are produced with steel, from automobiles to construction projects. These strides in innovation bring us precisely to the role of ConstructSteel, and I want to emphasize that ConstructSteel on principle does not engage in negative marketing vis-à-vis other building materials. Indeed, ConstructSteel firmly supports the continued evolution of composite and hybrid structures, and we believe that successful projects are optimized when the values of multiple products are combined to build a stronger and more sustainable structure. Over the next 2 days, we will explore innovations, research, and challenge our past perceptions to expand our minds to a future world that is more sustainable with steel and timber, each performing to its optimal potential. Your presence is testament that you share our vision, where steel and timber leverage their capabilities to address sustainability challenges facing the construction industry. I encourage you all to get involved in these proceedings. I assure you that World Steel and ConstructSteel and steel members around the globe are excited to explore all options that will leverage steel strengths to expand our industries and promote the future of sustainable construction. Thank you, and I wish you all a very good 2 days.
And our final speaker in the opening session is Nick Milestone, who many of you know. He is Senior Advisor with the Softwood Lumber Board, flown in all the way from Derby, UK yesterday. Nick Milestone.
Good morning. We, the SLB, are proud to be associated with this much needed piece of research in collaboration with the CTBUH and ConstructSteel. Our funding of $250,000 has been matched in joint support of the progress in the use of mass timber aligned with our partners ConstructSteel to deliver a lower carbon solution for the construction sector. This will ultimately reduce the overall environmental impact for the built environment and will help the transition to a low carbon sink. Not only is a wood-steel hybrid solution good for the environment, in many ways it provides an economic advantage. Thanks to the support from the Softwood Lumber Board in both building sustainable communities and a thriving supply chain, many are here in the audience, through our education programs, public-private partnerships and research and development, as well as the leadership of the funded programs that include Woodworks, Think Wood, and the American Wood Council. So everybody coming here today is such an important part of platforming what is much needed. For me, this is personally my 30 years of life work coming together. So it's so important that we all buy into this and we embrace steel and wood for the future. Thank you.